with her at the fort, and we thought it would be really cool if we could go and try to do it at her gravesite. So we were there last weekend, and with the pandemic and COVID and everything, obviously the tours at Fort George have been canceled.
Right.
And it is known from these tours, ghost tours, that this little girl, Sarah Ann, loves to sit there and hear the stories
of the ghosts
in the fort.
Yeah.
And so that's a question that we ended up asking when we were at the cemetery is, Sarah Ann, do you miss hearing the stories? And immediately over the spirit box, we got a female voice that said, yes.
Wow.
It's an amazing piece of equipment. It really is.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I find REM pods interesting too, right? Like I don't usually play with equipment too much, but I find the REM pod is a kind of another interesting one that, it's kind of fun. I don't know. I sort of like,
It is. Well, that's a purpose-built paranormal piece of equipment.
That's
where
right.
You have other EMF detectors that are used by plumbers and electricians.
Right, yeah.
To detect the various magnetic fields in your home.
And we use those too when we're on a site. Yeah. Yeah, but the REM pod is a specific paranormal developed piece of equipment. That's right, yeah.
That generates its own electromagnetic field around the device, and it will only trigger if its independent field is disrupted.
Right. Now, I remember, didn't you and Trudy have one of those at the bell
we do
tower?
Have one. Yes,
you guys had that out at the bell tower.
We did bring it to the bell tower. And
that's right, I remember.
Right.
Yeah, on the stage and in a couple of other spots. I remember that. Yeah, because we did a sort of after the conference, we did a investigation. It was sort of a free-for-all. Everybody could just kind of go around the building and have fun and do their own thing. We kind of moved through the space, tried to get everybody to move together. But that's something too. Yeah, I found that really kind of a fun, interesting piece of, I've used K2s before and things like that. Just people shove them in my hand and go, here, right? And it's like, here, do this, right? I'm like, okay, what am I doing? Because I'm not used to that stuff, right? I mean, for me, I just walk through and I get it. Like it is what it is. I am the conduit, right? But it's kind of odd when this stuff goes in my hand and I'm like, oh, what do I do with this? I don't know if you were present when we were doing the investigation at the bell tower. Were you there when I was trying to use the divining rod?
I was
you would
probably
know if you
there,
were there,
but I don't remember you using divining rods.
Hilarious. Well, somebody had put divining rods in my hand and said, try these. Yeah, no, me and divining rods. One rod was just madly spinning in circles. It would not stop. It just kept going around and around and around. So it's like, I'm like, I don't think these work for me, right? It's like, so that was a funny, and I've never really tried them before. And I went, well, I don't know if this is going to work because I have my own weird electrical field around me, right? I'm one of those people that can stand under a streetlight and it'll go out kind of thing. Or I can make LED watches go blank, that sort of stuff, right? So I was like, I'm not sure if this is going to work, but it was really pretty funny because they were like, oh, here, right? And they were using them and going all around and they were working really great for them and doing whatever. And here I am, that he hands them to me. And he goes, hold your hands about 3 inches apart and, face the rods forward so that the tips, nearly touch, but they're not quite touching. And I'm like, all right. So I put them in my hands, I get ready. And then one in my left hand did nothing but spin counterclockwise. It would not stop. I could not get it to stop no matter what. It just spun around and around and around and around and around. And it was so funny. And I was like, oh, here, just take those back, right? And he goes, well, just try it again. Maybe it's just that as soon as I do it, it would do that. I'm just like, yeah, me and divining rods are never going to be friends. Right?
Well, I've never used them myself. I prefer using the scientific equipment.
Yeah, it was fun to just, to have this happen. But I've had K2s that have gone awry in my hand. And, I'm just like, please don't give me your equipment, right? So if we're on an investigation together, Ian, don't give me your equipment.
Okay, I won't.
or if you want to see it malfunction, give me your equipment. But, yeah, it was just funny. But, this show always goes by so fast. I don't know. Rachel and I, we always say that we're at the end of and we're like, did we just talk like for 2 hours straight? Yeah, I can talk, right? So can Rachel. We can talk.
Yeah.
But I really love that you came on the show today and gave us some of your experiences, because it's nice to have another voice, and it's nice to have other people who have experiences that they can talk about and let us know. And we'll definitely have you back on again, for some other stuff. We've got some ideas moving forward that we will definitely have you back on the show for. And yeah, is there anything that you want to plug or talk about before we sort of sign off for the afternoon? Have you got anything in the works that you want to talk about?
No, I'm good. I just want to say, thank you very much for having me on.
Thank you.
As I say, COVID and the pandemic has basically wrecked my year so far.
Yeah,
because there's just been nowhere that we can go to do any investigating, really. So this year is basically, as we're almost in September, it's just been a write-off.
It has, and that's, we've all been talking about that, right? So, and that was like me with my museums, right? So now I'm at least being able to do some online Zoom lectures and things like that. But yeah, it's certainly been a dent in all of our, our personal lives for sure. But, as I said, I would rather cancel everything like I have for the paranormal conference. I don't want to have to talk about, ghosts of COVID-19, right?
Sure.
So I would rather people stay safe and we got to put it on the back burner, and it's tough, but, they're not going anywhere, right? The spirits, they're out there. They're always going to be out there.
They're waiting for us when we're ready. Yep.
Wait. So, but with that, Ian, I would like to say thank you so much for being on the show. It was a pleasure. We will definitely have you back on, and we look forward to that. And in the meantime, we'll just, we'll keep touching base and chatting on Facebook like we do, and we'll go from there. But we're going to say good afternoon to everyone now, because we're getting near the end of the show. And I will say goodbye to Rachel, and thanks again, Ian. And it's been a pleasure. And thank you, everyone, again, for listening to Down the Rabbit Hole with Rachel and I. And next week's show, we're talking about the Winchester Mystery House. That's going to be a good one.
It'll be a great one. It'll be a great show.
It'll be a great show. So thanks again, Ian. Take care, and we'll talk soon. And thanks, Rachel. And thank you, everyone, again for listening to Down the Rabbit Hole, and have a wonderful rest of your day.